Hey, this is Matt once again with the in a video, and this is a paid request for Ryan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, reaction, commentary, review, re-review, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it and I'll get to it as soon as I can. And this is for Tiny Toons, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I read up that this is the first direct-to-video animated film? Although I swear I read that for another movie, too. But I don't know. Maybe there's a live action or something, but it's been said this is... If it's not, it's one of the first direct-to-video animated movies. And I guess there were talks of maybe this going to the theater, but eventually... Steven Spielberg had a hand in producing this and said, nah, have it for the home video market so families can watch it together. Something like that. Now, Tiny Toons is not something I watched much of growing up. I knew of them. I had seen bits and pieces of them, referenced clips throughout the years, but never full episodes. I don't know what channels they were on when they came out. I don't think we had the channels because we only had ABC, CBS, PBS, and another form of CBS up until like 1996. So if it wasn't on any of those channels, I would not have been able to see it regardless. But even my aunt, which would send us a lot of tapes of other stuff, like The Simpsons, The X-Files, Elf, The Three Stooges, she never sent anything of this. But yeah, I know of them. I know about, there's Buster and Babs, who's the male and female bunnies. One's blue, one's pink. You have Plucky Duck. You got Dizzy Devil. You have... might as well say the female version of Elmer Fudd, who loves animals and wants everything as a pet. You have the female skunk, French skunk. You have the Hamton, the pig. Pretty much they're younger versions of the characters we know of, which I always thought was weird because I'm like, are they the kids? But no, it's... from what I understand, it's not the parents. Like, I thought, okay, is Buster and Babs, like, any of them related to Bugs Bunny? No. Because at school, he's a teacher. So I always thought it was weird. Like, they seem like the younger versions of these characters, but it's not like Muppet Babies with Looney Tunes, although I think they've done something like that before. I know they've done something like that before or after this. Muppet Babies but it's Looney Tunes. So it's kind of this weird thing to say it's like them but it's not like them. Buster and Babs at times seem like they have the hots for each other, depending I guess what mood you find them in. So it was interesting to watch this as someone that's not 100% familiar with the show. And I might have gotten a shitload of stuff wrong with what the hell I just said just now. But I would say overall, I didn't mind this for what it was. Pretty much the characters, they're at school, they're getting ready for summer. And this was kind of funny because they're doing a song about, just get 3, come on, turn 3. Just excited, waiting for it. Well, you just turned the 3. Because they wanted to tell. I can understand because when I was in school, we wouldn't sing it, but we would also be looking at the clock, just wait for it. Man, it's going to take forever for it to click the 3. Although, why do I think it was it 3? Or was it 4? Can't remember if it was 3 or 4 when I went to school. But interesting to see Bugs Bunny as a teacher at university. I just never really thought of Bugs Bunny as a teacher, but okay. Bit different. And that's the thing, they've done so many different types of stuff with the Looney Tunes. I mean, of course, you have the old school cartoons, which if you watch the older cartoons, there's some stuff that would not fly today in terms of how black people and Asian people and other people were showcased. And then you had characters smoking cigars and even more horny than usual and looking at women where the titties are ready to pop out. There's some crazy stuff back in the day. And then the stuff I remember was the Bugs Bunny and Tweety show on ABC, where they would show a lot of these old, kind of like the showing older stuff but repackaged. And that's how I was able to see a lot of the classic Looney Tunes. Like the one where the characters are talking to the animator and erasing certain things. And it's, Daffy does try to figure out what the hell's going on. And you find out that Bugs Bunny has been drawn the whole time. Ain't I a stinker? You know, a lot of other cartoons of that ilk. But I mean, they've done the Looney Tunes versions where they're superheroes, or lunatics or something. There's of course Space Jam and the sequel and the other movies. There's the, what was that one came out a few years ago where like Bugs and Daffy were like roommates? Can't remember that one. That one seemed a bit interesting with how they were detailing it. I know they're coming out with a new movie with Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, which I don't know about that because I remember seeing a trailer and they had a lot of like stupid lowbrow jokes in it. I'm like, really? Anyway, not getting off tangent. Getting back to this, but it was interesting to see. Although it did feel a bit clustered, because it kind of felt like an anthology, but if all the stories were kind of shaken up and then loosely fit back together again. Because they'll show a bit of one story, they'll cut back to this, they'll cut to this, they'll cut back to this one, then cut back to this one. I just, because if you just went all with one, they would feel like, oh, it's been a while since we've seen this character. I will admit, part of me kind of wish they did that though. Where you see, okay, here's Bugs, Buster and Babs, see their full story, then see Plucky and the others' full story. Because if you're getting into one, then you're pulled out, you're into this story, then you pulled out, oh, now we're back to here. It felt like being a bit jerked around with the plot. If you're at all getting into this, then all of a sudden you pull back, now you're into this, and you gotta wait till later to see the rest of that scene or what's going on with those characters. They do that to make all the characters feel like they're in the entire film. But yeah, I think it just would have worked better. In fact, when I saw the title, I thought, oh, it's going to be the way all these characters spend the vacation together. And I thought the characters were going to be more together. I didn't know it really would be just their own separate stories. So yeah, Buster and Babs are in one. Plucky and not Porky Pig are in one. There's one with the skunk wanting to get the autograph of this other stunt star, Johnny. Actually voiced by Rob Paulsen, who was Raphael in the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon. He does a couple voices in this. Dizzy, the little Tasmanian devil, he doesn't have a whole lot to do other than he's afraid that his fur's going to fall off. Then he spins and his fur does fall off. And then you don't really see him until the end of the movie. The ones that are trying to be like a little younger, baby version Sylvester and Tweety. It's not them, but those type of versions. They're barely in it. like I said, it's more going back from Buster and Babs to Plucky and what's going on with them. And yeah, a little bit of the stunts. I would say those are the main three that you follow through most of the film. Buster and Babs is more of this kind of Huckleberry Finn adventure where he keeps bothering her, soaking her with water over and over again. She gets more and more pissed off until finally they start flooding the whole damn town, going against each other. They eventually go down the river and they meet all these weirdos. Crocodiles that want to marry Buster, pirates that want to get rid of them, and rednecks that want to eat them. This possum that plays a banjo, and Buster plays his instruments with his whiskers with him. You have Plucky wanting to go on this road trip with the family to go to this amusement park, Happy World Land, and then realizes just how shitty this family is. Does he have an uncle who keeps sweating all the time and he's always stinky? They like to sing stupid songs or play stupid games or all this other crap that happens to him. He just has the worst time ever. And it's a lot to talk about. When again, it does act like an anthology, so it's hard to keep track on what to say. There's some clever stuff, like when Babs is going after Buster with the water gun, and she stores the camera, and you see an animated hand kind of come over and wipe the lens off. I thought that was kind of a neat breaking of the fourth wall. Considering it's 1992, I'm interested in some of the choices. Like, you see Babs in a swimsuit, pretty much bra and panties. I'm like, oh, okay, that's different. Or Babs hitting on Buster, you falling for me? And then Buster's like, you just say that, and then they fall off the fucking waterfall. Interesting to see some of the cameos. Like, at one point, they're saved by Superman. Yes, Superman. I guess it makes sense as Warner Brothers, but there's Superman. And then they go, we don't need saving from you. Or, we don't need to be saved by you. Okay, then drops their ass. I mean, you want to complain, there you go. There's other people, like when the female stunt tries to see the famous star stunt. There's a Jay Leno caricature where someone goes, hello, sir. Would you like to check your chin in? Or she goes, not until the fat lady sings. Just they won't let her see the star stunt. And then they hear someone singing, and it's supposed to be a take on Roseanne Barr, and how fucking horrible her singing was at the baseball. This is the point where home of the brave, like you're singing that song during the baseball game. She did, but she did such a horrible, terrible job that it got national attention by just how shitty she sang the anthem. So if you're watching this nowadays and you're younger, you may not get that joke or what the hell they're referencing, but that is what they're referencing. Or there's these talk show hosts. So there's like Johnny Carson, there's Oprah Winfrey, there's David Letterman. Not only David Letterman, but there's Arsenio Hall. So interesting to have these caricatures in there. Like the Buster and Babs stuff, it was fun to watch. As a little bit of adventure. It seems like always some kind of crazy physical activity happening, going in and out of the water, dealing with all these collection of characters they have to get away from or not be eaten from. Plucky, it's more just the torture of this guy dealing with his family in this car trip. Can't even get any damn water. Like, give the guy a fucking break with give him some water. Hampton pukes on his fucking comic. This stupid ass uncle who's a sweating fat fuck. Literally taking his sweat and pouring all over him. I really feel sorry for Plucky. Like, this family does suck. I would have just gotten out and hitchhiked back to fucking town. Honestly, it would have been better than what the hell he went through. Just spoiler, they picked up a hitchhiker who's a fucking killer, tries to kill Plucky, even has a damn hockey mask and staring Plucky half to death. Then they get to the park, ride the monorail, and go back. They don't even ride the rides. And even goes, what are you doing? Well, we can't do it all the first time. Can't overwhelm ourselves. Which just makes Plucky just go fucking insane. I don't blame him, because I would feel the same damn way. So definitely felt sorry for his ass. Buster and Babs. I remember when they got to this banjo playing. First, I swear to God, I thought for a second they were actually going to do the dueling banjos. Do 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 new 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 do new 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 new. Which, granted, I don't know why I thought that, because I'm like, that would be pretty fucked up if they did that, because the movie that's most known for someone getting fucked in the ass and not with permission, it's gonna be rough. Well, I mean, Space Jam New Legacy, that movie had damn Clockwork Orange characters in it, so you never know. But no, it's not that song. It's a different song. Other stuff I noticed. Again, interesting that Buster keeps squirting Babs. Again, they ratchet up to the point they both end up flooding the whole damn town multiple times. Let's see, I don't want to miss stuff. There's... Oh, there's one bit where Plucky tries to get help and he puts like a letter in a mailbox and the mailman gets it. It fucking runs over the Roadrunner. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit out of the blue. It is something that eventually caught the Roadrunner. It was a damn mail truck. So I thought that was kind of out of the blue. I wonder where that came from. And we never did see the Roadrunner again, so I guess you want to know what finally killed the Roadrunner? It was a damn mail truck. The female stunt finally gets with Johnny, and she's so in love. He just uses her to carry his things and stuff. But then when they get to the theater, he sees a hotter stunt and does whatever he can for her, and even takes her photo that she wanted him to sign, gives it to her. And of course, it pisses off our main female stunt and beats the shit out of him as he deserves. There's a little bit of a cross-reference where the psycho hitchhiker gets a chainsaw and eventually starts hunting Buster and Babs. That's the thing. I kind of wish like all these stories would converge at the end, where maybe during the road trip they find Buster and Babs, and so Plucky has to choose, and he's like, screw it, I'm gonna go with these guys, because I'd rather be whatever the hell Buster and Babs doing than deal with that family. And somehow like the stories would be a bit more interconnected. Or I guess again, I thought it was going to be a story where all the characters are together for the entire film. I don't know why I thought that, but I didn't know I was going to go with this kind of scattershot type of anthology take on it. So I guess I was like I wouldn't say disappointed, but I was like a tad, oh, okay, that's what they're going with. There's definitely some fun to be had if you like the characters. Definitely a lot to take in for, 90-minute running time. There's some fun, witty stuff. Like the way our characters, Buster and Babs, and this possum, who's a good guy, get out of it is they literally fall through an actual plot hole. Maybe a bit on the nose, but it's clever than some of the stuff I've seen. Clever than anything I saw in Space Jam New Legacy. And by the end, they all get back to the school, and for the most part, everything's fine, and they go on their day, so to speak. So overall, I would say I had fun with what they were intending to do. I had fun with it. Didn't bother me a whole lot as a movie. Because it went at a decent enough pace. Wasn't really bored with it. The Plucky stuff, sad to say, was probably... It got to a point that was the least interesting to me. Because it was just this guy just being tortured over and over again. Which I know you just say is the point of some of these characters. But it's just that I really started to hate this family as much as Plucky did. And wanted them to be turned to some bacon sandwiches or something. Bacon cheeseburgers. There you go. Turn them all on a bunch of hot dogs. Yeah, again, I was really starting to hate this family like Plucky did. So it was kind of hard to enjoy it after a point. The stuff with the skunk was fine for what it needed to be. Just, it was this guy being a dick, and at least he gets his comeuppance. That was an interesting choice to make it a female skunk. Which, there you go. Since Pepe Le Pew got canceled so much because he's a guy being a predator against women. Well, here you go. Flip the script. You don't cancel this girl now? I don't know how she was in the rest of the show. I'm guessing probably some tendencies like Pepe Le Pew had, where she was a bit forceful. You don't cancel her? Or does the door only swing one way? If you got testicles, then you're canceled. If you don't, then you're not canceled. The reason I reference is that Space Jam New Legacy, Pepe Le Pew is so problematic. But we'll put a Clockwork Orange characters in there. It's a kids movie, but let's go to all these worlds that are R-rated like Mad Max and Matrix Land. They're R-rated and people dying and shit. You know the Matrix film where there's a fucking rave where people are fucking in Matrix Reloaded? Yeah, let's reference that. That makes a lot of sense. But Pepe Le Pew is so bad. Here, there's Clockwork Orange. What did they do in their movie? I don't know. Pennywise. You know, the one that ate kids and bit their heads off? That's fine. But Pepe Le Pew is bad. Just dumb, dumb shit. But yeah, it's a film that I would never see again, but it was nice to see once. Like I said, I kind of wish maybe there's a bit more of a smoother, consistent story where all the characters did that together along one journey. Or that if it's this segmented, I kind of just, let's just have all one story, then the next one, then the next one. Just a little bit more of an actual anthology. I would have preferred that structure. At least for me. Just like I said, you get into one, then oh yeah, now I gotta remember where this person was when we last saw him, because now we've been with this for about 5 or so minutes. So it just feels a bit more scattershot when it does that. But again, there's some clever nods. Like I said, I didn't expect Superman to make an appearance. The caricatures on some of the celebrities were entertaining. The voices did their jobs well. Like I said, it was nice to hear Rob Paulsen being a Ninja Turtles fan. It's nice to hear him in a couple roles. Again, not being entirely familiar with the show, So like I didn't know that there's a female Dutch who has a very like Valley Girl accent. Like she says the line. What was the line? I wanted to make sure. Why the bummer vibes, Dizzy? What's going on, Dizzy? Oh my god, what are the bummer vibes? Like the include like Valley Girl type of thing. So I. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just didn't expect that. I think Rob Paulson voices another character, I think called Foulmouth, that can't take the hint and wants to go on a date with her so badly, and she's like, "Fuck you!" Pretty much, he just still can't take the hint. Even in the movie theater, he won't shut the fuck up, and people in the movie have to bring him in, beat the hell out of him, and throw him out. Like that was kind of funny. That was kind of a funny bit in the movie. But overall, like I say, if you're into this stuff, or you have kids, or you like the Tiny Toons, or it's worth a look. It's worth a look. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.